everyone, and welcome back to FPL Expectations with me, Samuel. And it's been a while. Circumstances have, I don't know how to put it. Basically, it's something's going on in England. There has not been a game week for about over a week now, and even this week there are some postponed fixtures because of it. But there are going to be games, and when there are games, there's always going to be streams with FPL Expectations. And I'm on the left side of the screen this time, being the host because Craig's not free with his work, and so I got myself a partner in the form of Joe. Joe, it's been a while. How's it
Hello.
been?
Good. Just enjoying the game week 7 break actually. So now it's just back to business, especially with the wild card activated. So it's gonna be a very busy last 1.5 hours until the deadline.
Yeah. It's gonna be a hectic 1.5 hours before we all shut off for the next 2 weeks until the next game week. Fun, right?
Yep.
Alright. So we aren't gonna do reviews because game week 7, unless you took hits, I think all of us got 0 points. So I don't think there's really any need to review it. But so let's just jump straight into game week 8. And Joe, I believe you're wildcarding for this week.
Yes, I am.
Alright,
So
let's just get your team on screen and talk us through
yeah.
it.
So I mean it's I think if you're on FPL Twitter, all these picks are pretty popular. Um, I mean, if you look at, I think mainly triple Newcastle, it's a bit of a, it's a bit out there, but it does has its merits because if you look at the fixtures, they are having really good fixtures, especially on game week 8, starting with home to Bournemouth. And then after that, away to Fulham, home to Brentford. Game week 12, they are home to Everton, and so on and so forth. And in the short term, uh, Newcastle's Newcastle's fixtures looks really good. So Pope is there, and Trippier is the most popular pick of them all, doing good work, creating chances, and really attacking and free kicks as well. Um, Another one is Isak, which he passes the eye test, looks really active, really good. So looks to benefit from this fixtures. And another another interesting pick is Emerson. Emerson, I think, is mainly because he's only 4.0, and West Ham, I know they are pretty poor at the moment, pretty poor state at the moment. But if you look at their fixtures, it looks quite enticing. Looks to turn for the better, hopefully, with playing Everton away in game week 8, and then 2 home games to Wolves and Fulham. So I mean, you as for 4.0, you don't need him to play every week, but only there, if you need him. Um, and he should be nailed. I think I've talked to a few West Ham fans. I think they were concerned whether Cresswell being back will displace Emerson, but I think I talked to a few fans. They say Emerson is nailed, and yesterday, even in the conference league, Emerson played alongside Cresswell. Cresswell playing as a left centre back, and Emerson playing as a left wing back. So at 4 million, I think it's a risk worth taking, because I think the other two budget defenders are Neco Williams and Patterson. But I think Neco Williams is still 0.1 million more expensive than Emerson, and Aurier just joined Forest. So not sure whether he will share minutes with Williams on the right side. So that's a bit. There's some a degree of uncertainty there. Patterson, I think he's also another good pick, but 4.1 million. If you don't mind spending the extra 1 million, I think it's also another pick worth considering. But for me, I pick Emerson because firstly of West Ham's fixtures. I honestly I hope West Ham they can turn their fortunes around with especially with decent fixtures. So just trying to get ahead of of things with this Emerson pick. If you look at the midfield, I think Martin Lenny is pretty standard pick. Pereira as well. I picked De Bruyne because initially I wanted to go for Son, but I think Conte's press conference saying he will really actively rotate players and no player is safe kind of puts me off, especially for game week 8 because Son hasn't been delivering the goods at all this season so far, and there are rumors among the fans saying that he might be benched this game week against Leicester. So which I because of that I go for De Bruyne instead of Son. Bowen is another uh, out there pick. I think this, we still have 1.5 hours. He is still one of my dilemmas. Um, it's just really hoping that West Ham is going to turn things around and hopefully Bowen will be the main person to steer them towards that direction. So um, still up in the air. Bowen still really not so convinced of him, my team. 8.1 million. Not sure whether it's worth it or not. Still thinking. And of course, if you look at the strikers, Mitrovic, I think there's nothing to say about that pick. It's really he's really doing very well. And if you look at the fixtures, they are playing Forest this week, and then after that, on game week 11, they're playing Bournemouth, Villa, and also away to Leeds. I think they are good fixtures, and hopefully Mitrovic can continue his momentum. If you look at the bench, I have Madison, Justin, and James. James, obviously, I put him there because if you look at Chelsea's fixtures, game week 9 onwards, it looks really really decent, and hopefully with the new manager, they can turn things around. I mean, they can establish a rhythm, and I think James, I think he will be one of the main key players to do that for Potter. Madison and Justin, yes, I know they're playing for Leicester, but just it's another fixture pick definitely. If you look at game week 9 onwards, they're playing Forest, Bournemouth. Then after that, subsequently, Crystal Palace, Leeds, and Wolves. Purely fixture pick. And Justin, I don't need to play him week in week out, so he's there because he's my fourth midfielder, and currently I'm going towards 3-4-3. So Justin and Emerson, I don't need them to play every week. So Justin is only 4.3 million, and with this fixtures, I think it's a risk worth taking. So this is my current wildcard draft. Might change next hour or so, but hopefully not. I wouldn't see it changing too much from this. So what about you, Sam?
I'm also on wildcard. I'm just looking at it, right? It's actually really similar to my team. Frighteningly similar. I think the only difference is the fact that you went for James and I still stuck with Perisic. That's about it. And then Madison, yeah. the 4.0 mids I kind of want for Patterson, mostly because of the game week 12 fixture. I feel like that's the week where I will need them. And I think from Nico Williams, Nathan Patterson, and Emerson, I think Patterson has the lead, like the best fixture of the three, even though it's not that easy. Newcastle away, and Bowen. I think for me, West Ham are like an enigma team. Like they actually had one of the best windows in the Prem, arguably in the Europe, and somehow they just can't click. I think over time
Mhm.
they will. I think a couple weeks from now they probably will. They're too good to be going on this barren run for too long. I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, teams don't. I don't know unless they're really 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 poor quality players. I don't think teams can go that. I mean, badly for the whole season. So fixtures breeds form. I believe fixtures breeds form, and it should be the best time and the best place to build on. As especially since they're having such a bad start to the season.
I guess one of the things I kind of just remembered about the whole Patterson thing is Pickford's not there.
Who?
For Patterson, Everton, Pickford's not there anymore for like a
Oh
month.
yeah,
So
he's out.
that's yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's a concern as well.
yeah.
Um, which is why I mean, who's oh who uh is it Begovic?
Begovic, yeah, Begovic. He's
Yeah,
the
so
he's the second keeper. Gone
so
are the
who
days
knows?
of Stecklenburg.
I mean, like I have two West Ham players playing against Begovic, so hopefully they do something.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I mean Bowen. I'm a little bit wishy washy on Bowen, but he is their main man. Um, like I said, if they are to turn the tide, he should be one of the main players to help them turn things around. So I don't know, maybe yeah, punt, maybe just a short term punt at least
mm,
two at least 2 game weeks just to give him that that chance and give West Ham
mm.
that opportunity.
Did Bowen played in the Europa League game this week? No, he didn't actually start
He
that
he
game.
came on.
He
He
was on
came
the
on
bench.
as a sub.
Yeah,
He came on as a sub. I think he played for like maybe 20-ish minutes,
yeah,
but he was pretty poor in that 20-ish minutes. I think
yeah,
he only made one shot, so not convincing at all. Which
yeah,
is why I'm a bit doubtful. But
yeah.
who knows?
I think the reason why we're going towards Bowen of everyone else is because he had that run of form like end of last season. Not end, but in the middle of last season. So he's pretty much like the tried and tested guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He has that quality, and he's a little bit streaky, I would say as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully, hopefully we we can time on that the start of that streak.
Yeah. The guy I'm actually interested in looking forward is probably Paqueta. I don't know how he's gonna
Yes,
fit in, but yeah, he's gonna be probably the number 10 anyway, outright.
I mean, is
Let,
he really attacking, or is he more of a creative role kind of player? I I, I
I think he's
I
more,
have to be
yeah.
honest. I have to be honest. I have no information on him whatsoever.
I've I don't watch Liga that much, so I don't know that much about him either. But I'm guessing he's gonna probably be like a number 10. So
Hmm.
probably where Ben Rama's been playing. I think that's where he's gonna slot in.
Just behind the strikers.
Yeah,
I mean, hmm
either just behind the strikers or to the left of them. I think that's where he usually plays. It's either Fornals or Ben Rama who drops out.
mm,
If
mm.
anyone knows about him more than us, just let us know in the chat. That would be greatly appreciated.
I mean, like all I know was about him was like he plays for Brazil. I think you need to
Mhm.
be at a certain quality player to play for Brazil, and when he
Mm.
signs for West Ham, everyone was like so shocked. Like, of all teams, he signed for West Ham. Wow, what a great signing. So a lot of
Because the
definitely
whole of Europe was after him. Because
yeah. I
I'm
mean
pretty sure
that
most of Europe was after him.
yeah, and they got him for a bargain as well. So yeah, I mean pretty just
Yeah.
I guess at 6 million, I guess at 6 million, he is probably worth the punt as well.
Also in the chat, Southampton fixtures. I think these two comments are tied together. Who is the best defender for 4.5 million? Would you consider Carl Walker Peters? I think Southampton fixtures also look decent. I guess this ties in with our wildcard discussions.
Yeah, because I think if you look at it,
I think
it,
yeah,
it
the
really
fixtures are really
depends.
good.
It really depends on
Mm.
on 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 what you need him for. As do you play him week in week out, or do you play him? Is he your first uh, sub defender? I think 4.5 million. It, I don't think he's the best 4.5 million if you ask me. But he, it's a decent choice if it's your fourth defender. But I probably would, if you have to play him week in week out, probably he's not worth. Uh, yeah, because Southampton, they are a little bit, I don't know, because it's a pretty new team. It's a pretty young team as well. And they got quite a few new players in the first team, so it might take some time to gel. But I think if it's a fourth midfielder, I mean, if it's a fourth defender, Carl Walker Peters, it's a solid pick.
Also, one thing I've noticed with Southampton is I think they changed their system midway. So I think they were playing with a back three and wing backs like at the start, and then it just didn't work. They got completely outplayed by South Spurs,
Hmm.
and then in the first half of Leeds. So I think they made the switch, and now it's like more like a 4-2-3-1. So I'm not sure how attacking the fullbacks still are, but they
Let
should
me
still
just
get forward. I think they should
Yeah,
still get relatively forward. So I think
let
you'll be
me just
fine with Walker Peters.
yeah, let
I
me
think.
just check.
Hmm.
Pretty good fixtures. Away to Villa, home to Everton. I assume you're not going to play him against City. After that is West Ham, Bournemouth. I think, yep. Short term looks pretty decent. Um, yeah, I think at 4.5, if it's your fourth defender, you play him according to the fixtures. I think he's a solid pick.
All right. So as a fourth defender, he should be a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this kind of ties in with what we've been discussing: teams to target, teams to avoid on wildcard. So both of us are affirmative on Newcastle's fixtures. We like Leicester's
Mm-hmm.
fixtures.
Yep.
I guess West Ham's fixtures as well. Is there any like fixtures, good or bad, that you want to target or avoid?
Um, let's see. Let's just check out a few teams.
I think the first thing that stands out is probably Fulham. Fulham's fixtures, I think, yeah, they don't look that bad. They're not that great, but they don't look that bad either. And we have what Mitrovic and Pereira from there,
Yeah, I mean
because they
Mitrovic
have
and Pereira. Sorry.
because they have Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, and Villa and Leeds within the next six. That's four good fixtures for attacking assets.
Yeah, I mean Fulham. They are. I mean the players, the Fulham players are great. as enablers, especially if you look at Pereira. I mean, Mitrovic, so far he's doing great, even against top six teams. He 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 still does his thing. If you recall the goal against Spurs, that was a moment of individual brilliance. So he has that in him. So I think Mitrovic, it's he you can put him in the team week in week out without any issues. It's just other players like Pereira or even a defender, you know. So they are not players I would play every week, um, but enablers and also play according to the fixtures. Which, if you look at the screen right now, the fixtures are pretty decent. You can play them on game week 8, on game week 11, um, even against Villa on game week 12, which we might need them to play because Arsenal and City are blanks on game week 12. So you will need players like Pereira or other Fulham players you have to play on game week 12. So that's one thing to consider as well. So I would say Fulham is also a team to target, especially as an enabler and also decent fixture in game week 12. Um, yeah. So maybe if we look at teams to avoid, my first pick would be probably be Brighton. Firstly, they don't have a game on game week 8 because their game against Palace has been postponed, and then after that they have uh, Liverpool and they play against Spurs. So in terms of if you look at short term, it looks like a team to avoid if you ask me. Brighton. So that's my first
Also,
pick.
hmm,
Also,
yeah,
yep. Um,
as
Another
I said,
team I would
going on the teams
probably,
to avoid. Oh,
yeah.
you want to go first or should I go first?
I mean, you can go.
All right. So speaking on teams to avoid, another team I would avoid because I've seen a lot of transfers for two. I've seen a lot of transfers for one player and good discussion about the other. Man
Mm-hmm.
United. I would say they are a team to avoid
Mm,
because no game this week. City immediately after the break, and then you
yep.
have Spurs and Chelsea in 12 and 13. I've seen a lot of transfers for Rashford. I've seen Darlow being discussed. I would not go anywhere near them for now.
I mean,
I
if you
mean,
look at
12.
game week 11, they are home to Newcastle, and Newcastle now currently at their state, there are no pushovers, so it's also a tough game for them.
I would not go anywhere near them. I think if you're gonna buy Darlow, the only week where you probably use them is 12, and they play Spurs at home. I don't think you want to feel that, especially when you
Yeah,
got, especially when you can just get a 4 million who's probably gonna score the same amount of points
or more.
or more.
Yeah. S- and another team I notice people are avoiding at the moment is surprisingly Liverpool. I mean, if you look at their,
Understandable.
yeah, definitely understandable. If you look at their short term fixtures and also the form that they're in right now, it's not convincing at all. I mean, yes, they won against Ajax, but the games before that's pretty bleak to say the least. They have a blank on game week 8. They play against Brighton at home. And to be honest, we don't know how Brighton will perform without Porter. But then after that, if you look at game week 10 and 11, it's tough games, tough games against Arsenal and against City. So, but if we are considering to bring them back in the fold, I think game week 12 would probably be a good game week to look at least until the World Cup.
Yeah. Game week 12 is when they face West Ham and then Nottingham Forest and so on. I guess
Hmm.
the thing with Liverpool is right. How are they gonna sort this out? Because they have to. And- I mean, the problem with it, right, especially with Trent, is like he's not even bothered at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I saw that viral video going around of how he defended against
yeah,
who was it? The first game,
Napoli.
the first, yeah, Napoli. Oh, it was dreadful, you know. So I don't know what to expect.
Also, Salah's playing way out wide. I don't know if he cut in
Hmm.
more against Ajax than he did before, but the general idea is that he's playing way out wide, and that just impacted his output altogether. Like
Yeah, yep,
okay, he's still more of a creator, but 13 million. If you wanted a creator, I would just go for Jack Harrison.
exactly, exactly. I think another team to
I don't know.
avoid, you know, speaking on Jack Harrison, I think it's also. Let me just have a quick look at Leeds fixtures. Um,
I'd say they're meh. I mean, Villa's good, Palace is meh, Arsenal not that good, Leicester, I'd say it's a good fixture, and then Fulham, I'd say it's a good fixture. So
yeah, I think it's also a bit meh. Yeah, yeah, as you mentioned, um, I think firstly they have a blank game week 8, and then I think a home against Villa, yeah, not too bad. Um, against away to Palace, that's a tough one. Home to Arsenal, tough. Away to Leicester, looks good right now, but who knows what's going to happen like by game week 12 to Leicester.
that
Home to
Leicester,
Fulham.
oh sorry, I'm so sorry. You
Sorry.
continue. I'll add on my
Yeah,
point later. You continue.
yeah. I think Leeds are probably a bit meh, so I probably wouldn't bring them in as well.
Mm.
Yeah, you're
It's a
talking about
you
Leicester.
know yeah yeah. I was talking about. I just realized right. The fixtures, game week 11 fixtures is one month away from now.
Hmm.
So we're basically predicting what's gonna happen this time next month. What do you think
Yeah,
about it? Yeah,
yeah. I
it's
mean,
actually really hard to predict. Managers could change, players could get injured. I don't know,
yeah.
but we have to try.
If you look at 1 month ago, you wouldn't expect Tuchel to be sacked. You know.
I wouldn't expect Liverpool to be this bad. There's a lot of things I wasn't expecting. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting Newcastle to be this good either.
Hmm. So a lot can change, and
Yeah.
and there is the international break coming up as well. So you know things can change anytime.
This is like the worst time to walk hard yet. We have to do it because otherwise we will only have like what 3 players playing in the entire game week, and one of them is Harden captain.
I mean, yeah, I remember looking at my team before pulling the wild card. I only have 6 players. I only have 6 players on game week 8.
That's tough.
That's after putting on my bench. So I have the wild card. I don't have much of a choice
Mm.
because of the blanks.
I have I have 7, but that 7 includes an injured Kyle Walker, Josh Da Silva, and Danny Ward. Effectively, that's 5. One of them is Haaland captain, the other is Gabriel Jesus, the other is Martinelli. The only one who could actually have some sort of impact is like Mitrovic and Perisic.
And Perisic might be rotated.
He might not even play.
Yeah, exactly. So
Speaking of
I mean,
Haaland, oh,
speaking of teams to target, I think one probably pretty obvious one is Leicester. Um, you know, they are definitely punts at the moment because they are not playing well at all. But I would have a feeling that they are a fixtures team. So if you look at their fixtures, really good. Probably one of the best of all the teams. So my my pick would probably be Madison because he's the main
he's the
talisman,
only one there.
main creator at the moment. Um, but probably probably other than Madison, probably not not any of the others. I know I have Justin, but I think I put Justin's because he's 4.3, and it's really just a punt at this moment in time.
If Leicester were to turn around, one thing they have to do for the love of God is just take Danny Ward out of goal. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Man,
But
how's this guy? You
um,
know, they paid like a big fee from Liverpool for him, like
I think
also all that time
15,
ago.
15 million. I think.
14
If I,
million euros. 14 million in 2018 for this guy.
I mean, he's an international player as well.
Yeah,
So I think
I mean there
he's
are a lot
really
of
like.
international players
I,
like that.
I, I think that the defense and him, they have they hopefully with the break, they can establish better communication, and hopefully they can strengthen things up, especially since Fofana has left, and not hopefully less instability in the dressing room as well.
Could they have even have center back? Because Johnny Evans, there's one. Amati is another, but even though he's not really a center back, he's been playing there more than midfield.
I think
There's
they have this
Vestergaard,
new there's this new
and then
new
there's
guy.
yeah, they signed from I forgot the team from a French team, Reims, I think.
Hmm.
So I think he should slot in next to Johnny Evans. I think that should help because at the
Yeah.
moment Ndidi is playing right center back, which means Samari is playing as a six. Samari as a six isn't that guy, and that just starts the whole chain of events because I think if you get Ndidi back as a six, I think there will be more protection to the defense end.
Yeah.
Hopefully things just work out.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty
All
much the
right.
teams to target and avoid.
And moving on, I guess we are a bit late on the discussion, but it's always good to discuss. Haaland Palmer cap. Is it time for that? I think we've all just been Haaland Palmer cap for like a few weeks now.
I mean, okay. If you look at my wildcard team, I do not have Salah. I don't have player. I don't have Kane. Um, basically, I'm shifting my whole. I'm building my whole team around Haaland per cap, at least until the World Cup. Because during the World Cup, we will all have a wild card and to fix our teams again. But I'm let's just let me just pull up Haaland's fixtures.
Also, while you're pulling up the fixtures during the World Cup, while everybody is putting their blood, sweat, and tears into winning their country a World Cup, that Cyborg is going to be recharging for a whole month. And when everybody's
Yeah,
tired, he's going to come back and back 4 goals every game.
exactly. I mean, this guy, he you, if you know him since his Salzburg days, um, he's crazy. He can just score against any team, anytime. You're just given that opportunity. So I mean, his effective ownership is going to be sky high anyway. So what? And he's scoring goals. So why take the risk to go against that? That's 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 my thinking behind Haaland permacap. If if the the best way, I mean, if a player has a tendency to not be as consistent as this, um, then there is a great opportunity to go against the effective ownership. But a player like Haaland scoring, you know, game week, game in, game out, week in, week out, um, it's not worth the risk going against the effective ownership, which is why he's as close to a perma cap as we have, at least in this season so far. So I think Haaland perma cap strategy is a really valid one at the moment, uh, and it's something that I'm actually doing. Yes, I know game week 12 he has a blank, which I but then again, it's a month away, so I have free transfers to set up my backup captain then. But yeah, I think Haaland perma cap is definitely a valid strategy during this moment in time, especially with the form that he's in.
Also, for anybody who thinks this is unsustainable, I actually pulled up Wikipedia and this are his goal stats in senior football. Molde 20 goals and 50, which is actually not bad, but compared to what you're gonna hear, this is actually really bad. Salzburg 29 and 27, Borussia Dortmund 86 and 89, and then City 13 and 9. This guy's a machine. This guy's a machine. There's no
If,
other way about it.
I mean, if you ask me, and you ask players, and you ask those who know him since, like I said, since the Salzburg days, it is sustainable. This guy, there's no stopping this guy unless he's injured or something really really messed up happens.
This guy is like, this guy always has one injury per season in him, but until that time comes, you're safe, I think. Especially with the amount of chances that City team creates behind him. You've got De
Yeah,
Bruyne, you've got Cancelo, you've got Bernardo Silva, you got Foden, you got Mahrez, you're sorted. My
yeah. I
only
mean,
concern at the start of the season was how they adapt to a striker because they haven't had one since Aguero. I mean, Jesus is not that type of striker. Like,
I mean, but if you ask me, Sam, they are doing really well. They have
they adapted
adapted
much better
really
than I
well.
thought. They've
Yeah,
adapted much better and much quicker than I thought.
because I think Pep knows. Pep has been drilling in them. As especially I think during the start of the season where Foden did not pass to Haaland for him to score. I think even Pep commented on that. So I think the whole team knows what Haaland has to do and what they have to do in order to score the goals and to win the games.
Yeah. Haaland's the only simple answer is Haaland's a cyborg. I don't think even aliens are capable of that. Just a rope. He's just a cyborg. He's the Terminator. He filmed in 1990s. He filmed in the 1990s, charged for 20 years, and came back into the footballing world to just ruin the sport or to just break the sport, whatever you like to put it.
Yep, exactly. I think I saw a stat after he scored in the Champions League. I think he is one goal away from Suarez's Champions League goal tally. It's nuts.
I think also
Crazy
4 away
that.
from Rooney or something like that. Him and Mbappe are just breaking the goal scoring records. It's actually insane.
Yeah. So Haaland perma cap, yes,
Yes.
definitely valid.
Yeah. I think we haven't had like as close to a perma cap as that season where Salah scored 32.
Yep, yep. That was what I was about to say. I think during one of the seasons, like Salah went crazy. Yeah, I think this is the next perma cap option that we have.
I guess that's it in terms of content. Let's have a look at the chat and answer some questions. I guess this gave me such headache. Yep.
I know,
like
right?
I said at the start, this is like an adrenaline rush. 2 days worth of planning, or 1 day worth of planning, and then 2 weeks where you just doze off.
Mm-hmm.
And Vincent, good to see you in the chat again. And here's a question for us. Bowen and Kufals are in the bank of Bailey and why? Why Bailey? You could have picked
Bailey,
anyone.
I think I read it on Twitter. He he is set to start against Southampton.
Yeah.
So most probably he plays on game week 8. Um, I don't know. If you ask me, I I I know Bailey is a really quality player, but I just can't trust Gerard. After being I had Bailey at the start of the season, and Gerard just trolled me in and out, and it's hard for me to
Yeah.
bring him back, to be honest. But I think if you look at game week 8 in particular, I think Bailey is a good pick. Is a good pick for game week 8.
I'll just stay away from Bailey solely because of the fact that the first 4 game weeks happened. Look, he played one game, didn't do well, all right. The second game, they totally switch formations, drop him. So the third game, you bench him, he gets an assist while starting. The fourth game, you start him again, and then he gets benched. This
I think
that's like
he scored.
FPO.
He scored the last game, right?
He scored in the last game as well against Man City. Off the bench, not off the bench while starting.
Yeah, he started and scored.
Yeah.
Such a troll.
We already have a troll. We are not even 10 game weeks in.
But I think to answer the question, um, Bailey and Perisic, it really depends on who you have on the bench, because both Bailey and Perisic are rotational risk. Bailey, I think Bailey may, game week 8 he starts, but Perisic not too sure at the moment. So it really depends on who you have as cover. Because yes, having 2.2 million in the bank to bring Salah and Trent back in is a good strategy, but um, up till then, you need players that is nailed. So Bowen and Kufal definitely nailed players. Um, but if you ask me, I for the short term, I'll go for Bowen and Kufal.
Also, speaking of which, we're going back to Salah and Trent. I don't think you're gonna get them back in anytime soon either.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what's the point of having 2.2 in the bank just to have them back in when you could just maximize the returns now off of it? Try to maximize it, and
Yep.
then 3 to 4 weeks later, if you want them, you can make some slight adjustments and go back to them. Because you're
Yep.
not going back to them unless they turn around. And at the moment, they if their name sounds Salah and Trent, I don't think you would go for them. I think that's just a
Mm-hmm.
simple truth that yeah.
Yep. Yep. Agreed.
Lewis Diaz is another story. I think he's still alright. It's solely because he's 8 million. He's the same price as Bowen, so worst case scenario, you can just go there. But
Mm-hmm.
that's about it. And from Marcus, it's Son and Solanke or Bailey and King. What's with these Bailey questions?
But I mean,
What is wrong? Did you all have too much to drink, or did you all just? Never mind.
they
Let's just
they
answer the question.
I think they probably just had Bailey's. Anyway, Son or Solanke. I think if you ask me, um, for me, Bailey and Kane, because like I mentioned, Son really out of form. Um, Rumors of benching. Solanke again, plays for really poor Bournemouth team. I think I mentioned it. I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, where Bournemouth is really a championship level team at the moment because they did not strengthen enough. So yeah, I personally I will avoid any player from there. So should Bailey should start game week 8. Kane as well, and Kane has good record against Leicester, so I'll go for Bailey and Kane.
Also, one thing to know with Son, yeah, with Bailey and Kane, if I'm good to go for a Spurs attacker, it will probably be Kane ahead of Son at the moment. So that kind of
Mm-hmm.
just answers the question, doesn't it?
Yep.
And I think we've already answered this one. Adiraman. Oh no, that's a wrong pronunciation. I'm bad with names. I'm not gonna say any names. Hello.
Hadi Raihan.
And yeah, Hadi Ryan. Yeah, I'm bad with names. That's just me in general.
We have
And
Craig.
Craig, aren't you supposed to be in work? Why are you here? Anyways, we've got a few more highs in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And Marcus also has this draft here. I think. Oh yeah, this is. I think this might help us answer better. I didn't actually see it earlier. His wildcard draft is Pope, Trippier, Cancelo, Kufal, Madison, Bailey, Bowen, Martinelli, Kane, vice captain, Haaland, captain, Mitrovic, and a bench of Danny Ward, Andreas, Nico Williams, and I'm assuming that's Reece James.
Yep.
That's the only James that everybody picks. So yeah.
I, I, I think, yeah, I think it's overall a decent team. Uh,
I guess the
and
thing
to
is
answer,
when James comes back, I think Bailey's just gonna sit on the bench.
yeah,
I think
either that,
that's his thing.
either that or Kufal. It's really depends on the fixtures. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep, good team.
Kufal's 4 point. Yeah, I always assume Kufal's a 5 because he's been 5 for a long time, but he's 4.4
Nah,
this season. 4.5.
yeah,
So yeah.
yep.
And moving on, my plan is to save my wildcard for game week 9. Salah, Archer, Robertson to Haaland, Trippier, Bowen, or Madison -4. Depends on if your team can last another week, I guess.
I mean, basically, he's gonna take a hit just to punt for a game week. So if you look at, so it's either Bowen or Madison. Bowen plays against
Um,
Everton. Madison plays against Spurs. Spurs, they are not as solid as we all think. And Madison takes free kicks and stuff like that. So
but you're still chancing it, though. You're still chancing that they're going to get a return this week and this week only. I mean, if you're
yeah,
going to do that, yeah, that's tricky.
I don't know. If you ask me, maybe still Bowen, maybe just maybe away to Everton without Pickford, maybe.
If it is 1 week, right,
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit of the option. It's an option we haven't really discussed. And I think if you're going to just go for 1 week, he's the same price as Bowen, so I think you can go for him. Kulusevski. It's a bit of a
Mm,
rotation risk, but I think his fixture is better relative to both Bowen and Madison.
yep, yep, yeah. I think that's a good shot. I think
Because you're going to walk out next
Kulusevski.
week anyway.
Yeah, I think Kulusevski shoots. I don't know. I really don't know. He didn't start the Champions League game, but I think he should start against Leicester. Should being the key word. So but I think he's worth the punt if you're looking for 1 week against Leicester at home.
It's really annoying that Richarlison isn't a midfielder anymore. Because he would have been perfect for this scenario.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, I think at this point it's him, Kane, and another guy. The other guy being Kulusevski or Son.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how Spurs are going to line up.
Yeah. If Son is going to be bench, so Kulu will be in. So yeah,
Unless
we.
Conte had too
I,
much to
to,
drink and plays Lucas Moura. I doubt that's going to
I
happen
mean,
though.
to be honest, personally, I could see that happening. Son being bench and Kulu comes in because Richarlison is in good form. Kane had, hasn't been doing badly either. So it's and to be fair to Kulusevski, he was doing pretty good. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I don't know. Whereas Son, yes, he does has his moments, but he's just not at a confident place at the moment. So I think Kulusevski is a good
yeah.
shout for a game week 8 punt.
Also, I should say this. Timothy Chow actually said Kulusevski over Son while we're discussing Spurs, I think, because that was before the question. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
actually see it, but he did say Kulusevski, so just pointing it out.
Yep, yep.
And also, and keep saying Bobby Reed versus Nottingham Forest, and also Kulusevski against Leicester, two differences for good punt. So Bobby Reed, that's one name we haven't actually discussed.
Bobby
I
Reed.
mean, I forgot he was still playing in the league, honestly. Fulham. I think he.
I have to look him up.
It's been a while since I've heard that name. I'm not laughing at the
Exactly.
solution. I'm just laughing at the fact that I haven't heard that name in so long.
Ah, wow. He did score once against Brentford at home.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting.
You know, all these players I was familiar with 2 years ago, and then they just went down, came back up, and I have to get familiar to them all over again.
Hmm.
Going through the like the Fulham lineup. What's Tom Kenny still doing there? Why are these players still there? What's Nathaniel Chalobah still doing in the Premier League side? I thought he was gone.
He came back.
Man, time flies. And where was I?
Let's see.
Right,
We are
uh,
at
here. I got a Fulham defender. Tete fixture seemed pretty good. Again, another thing that throws me back 2 years ago. Our Fulham's defense that good though. I mean, his price is good enough that you could actually cancel him as your fourth defender, keep him on the bench. He's probably going to start most games anyway. I don't think Fulham have
yes,
another. Oh, they have another out and out right back. So that's a bit of
he
a problem.
starts every game so far, but they only had one clean sheet so far. But fair, then again they had pretty fixtures against pretty attacking teams. So probably yeah, I think at 4.5 million probably you can't go wrong. If it's like I said, especially if it's your fourth defender.
I wouldn't say they would be my first choice though, because we did look at not too long ago. We did look at Southampton, and I would say they are much better defensive team than than Fulham are, and their prices are just about the same. So if I'm gonna go for a defender who's 4.5, Fulham would not be my first choice, especially though they are nil as well. Parrot and Walker Peters both are quite nil, so these two should be quite
Mhm.
nil as well. If you want
Yep.
more actually defensive like solid minutes, Bella
Hmm.
Kotchap is another one who's nil. So their back four is pretty nil if you want.
Yep.
So I wouldn't go for some defenders, but that's
Hmm.
just me.
Okay.
And we actually have a few questions for Newcastle defender. We have a few questions for it. And just bring one of them up. Yep. Who's your second best Newcastle defender? Share target or Portman? Thanks. All right, let's have a look. I think they all should be around the same price. Share is 4.7, Portman is 4.4, and my target is 4.9.
I think based on the price, probably that target is probably out of the picture. I like I said, I would assume if you're talking about playing second Newcastle defender, meaning you have already Trippier. So whether it's double, I mean, I'm not sure whether you have Pope or not. If you have Pope, then there will be triple defense, and I'm not sure whether is it wise to play triple Newcastle defense at the moment. But based on the price alone, I think Botman will probably be the second best because he is at 4.4. He is someone that you can probably bench and play according to the fixtures. So Botman will probably be my pick.
Also, the thing is, right? I'm just looking at the backups, and both have Dan Burn as their backup, both left back and centre back. But the thing is, the
Mm.
drop off from Target to Burn is probably much less than the drop off from Botman and Share to Burn. So if anyone's gonna get rotated, it's probably gonna be Target. So it's between Share and Burn. No, Share and Botman.
Yeah, I think Botman is a really is doing. I mean, they just brought him in this season, but I think he settled pretty well in this Newcastle team. So I would say
Botman is
Botman
actually
is
like
pretty. Sorry.
no, I'm just saying Botman. I think 2020, 2021 used to be one of my favorite center backs around because he came in after Gabriel left at Lille and just actually improved that team. I think the year they won the league on one as well. So I have a
Yeah.
soft spot for him. So I'm gonna say him.
So I think both of us agree on Botman then.
Plus, there's also that bit where he's left-footed, and I don't know how Eddie Howe's like obsessed with left-footed center backs, but Bodman's left-footed, and usually for like these managers, left-footed center back and left center back, it's a bit of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, second Newcastle defender. Those are the questions I answered. Oh, yeah, about Bailey questions. Yeah, it was Bailey could have two the back-to-back fixtures. Southampton and Leeds a few games we have postponed it. There's a strike. Yeah, I think it's real strike issues or something. I haven't actually read into it.
Yep. Yep. There are rumors of train strikes for game week
Yeah,
9, but
I think
I think
North
many.
London Derby and Chelsea Palace, right? Two games that are at risk.
I think there's more than that, but I don't know. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how prominent is the train strikes, how much it will affect the teams, because as far as I know, why it affected Brighton against Palace, because trains for the Brighton home matches, train is probably the main mode of transportation for the fans. Yeah, I've read somewhere from a Brighton fan that the train tickets even came together with the match tickets. So it was a big deal for Brighton, which which made the match got called off. But if you talk about other matches, or especially in the London area, pretty sure that uh, there are there are other modes of transports which the fans can take. So so there are many rumors going around as well. But on Twitter, I think most of the people are saying, don't don't panic, and they are pretty confident that matches won't get cancelled. So we can only see about that.
It's also 2 weeks from now. There's a
Hmm.
lot of time in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking an airport now. And going down, Newcastle defender I was in trouble because I needed to see clean sheet this week to cover my -4.
I mean, it's not really, it's really hard to predict clean sheets,
Mm.
especially if you need clean sheet to cover your hit. It's a bit hard. I think other than, yeah, I think you probably don't know. Good luck.
And next one is Bowen and Share. He already has Trippier or Perisic and Paqueta. My eye is
Oh,
going towards the left. The problem with the right is right. I think both of them aren't really that nailed.
Sorry.
The problem with the right hand side, Perisic and Paqueta, I don't think both of them are like set in stone for minutes. I think the right side, both of them are.
But I think surely Paqueta should be nailed. It's just Perisic
I
should
think
be.
over time he will be. I think I'm just worried about the immediate future.
I think Perisic is still a rotational risk. Bowen or Shah already have Trippier. I assume no Pope. Yeah, he says no Pope in the next comment. Double. I think Bowen and yeah, I think personally Bowen and Shaw.
Yeah. And next question. Oh, this is from the earlier one, the second Newcastle defender. He doesn't have Pope, only have Trippier and Isak.
So Botman then.
Yeah. And according to reliable sources, no Vardy tomorrow, 4-3-3, Madison, Daka, Barnes. You know, Brendan Rodgers' like complete negligence of Iheanacho is probably going to cost him his job.
Yeah, I don't know why. You know, Iheanacho is wasting his best years. Yeah, what a shame.
He had that really good run of form between like end of like 2020, 2021, and then
Mm-hmm.
the next
Yeah,
season barely even plays.
yeah.
I
I don't
mean,
know. I really don't know.
and even like Rogers should have decided like it's either Vardy and Iheanacho or just one of them. And he still doesn't say. Sometimes he goes both of them, sometimes he goes Vardy, sometimes he goes Iheanacho. And even as Daka now, it just makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess they're starting to move away from Vardy though. He hasn't really been that good this season either. Really slow
Vardy,
start time. Yeah,
I think his age is catching up.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, for a striker who actually relies on his pace, yeah, it's about time he catches up.
Yeah. And I
And
think
moving on, I
and
think
I think and I think he has those injuries as well, so it's taking a toll on
yeah.
him.
Actually, I missed the question, not question, but yeah, I still think Salah about during a Haaland permanent captain talk. Still think Salah's a better captain versus Brighton than Haaland versus the United next game week. You could say that, but you could also say that Haaland probably scores.
I mean, it's the Manchester derby, you know, so things anything can happen.
Anything can happen, but I feel like City are gonna score. There's no way City doesn't score.
Yeah, and
I
it's
know.
Haaland's first derby, so and he has a personal grudge against I don't know. I don't know whether is it a hyped up story or what, but personal grudge against United. I don't know for Keane
The only, oh,
injured
oh yeah,
his
his
dad.
father. Yeah. Only thing I know is he nearly joined us in 2019.
Yeah.
That's like the but yeah. If Woodward knew how to activate release clauses, I think he would be here instead of there. But that's a story for another time. And I think this is a good question. Playing between Isak and Mitrovic.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough one. I think if you're looking for a short-term punt, probably Isak, but then Mitrovic is probably someone that you can keep for a longer term. If-
Honestly,
For
I'll say
me,
Isak.
you say Isak.
I'll say Isak. Mostly because Newcastle versus Fulham. I'll say Newcastle a better team. I'll say the chances Isak gets are probably more sustainable compared to Mitrovic.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I
Isak's finishing is a bit inconsistent from what I've seen from him in Sociedad and still now. But I think the volume of chances he's going to get and the football Newcastle have been playing, I think 7 million, I would gladly put my money on Isak.
Interesting. Interesting point of view. Um, for me, I'll probably put Mitrovic as the probably the more staple option in my team. Um, I would be more concerned going without Mitrovic than without Isak. I
And
mean, but this
I
is
guess
just
you just
my
have to,
personal.
yeah, yeah. We won't agree on this one. So yeah, take whichever point of view you want. And this one is Kulusevski or Bowen this game week then. Oh, Kulusevski for Bowen this week, then Bowen for Zaha game week 9. Huh? So, wait, I, I'm not clear what you're saying. Kulusevski for Bowen, then Bowen,
I think what he means is
Bowen for
Kulusevski
out for Bowen.
Kulusevski over Bowen for this game week, and after that move to Zaha for game week 9. Regardless whether is it Kulusevski or Bowen.
Yeah. And in that case, I'll just keep Kulusevski. I like his fixture, and you can just move him to Zaha game week 9. There's really no point going from day to day and day to day. Unless you're Walcott.
hmm I mean, it's really hard to book a transfer, especially after an international game week. So personally, I probably wouldn't want to book a transfer. Um, but you know, who are Spurs playing
Oh,
against
okay.
in my
Okay, this makes no sense. Okay, no. Oh yeah, this makes no sense. Kulusevski for Bowen, then Kulusevski to Zaha.
Yeah, I think
In that
yeah,
case,
that's.
I
But
think it's
personally,
better just keeping.
but personally, I wouldn't recommend to book a transfer on game week 9.
Hmm,
If you ask me, because
yeah. I think.
firstly,
Hmm.
there is the international break. There's this strike going on, so who knows what you need the transfer for.
Also, I think if you're gonna do a transfer, I think my best advice is either do Bowen to Kulusevski this week and stick with Kulusevski for the short term, or do Bowen to Zaha next week, or and keep Zaha. I think that those are the only two options. You don't go both.
Oh, there's somebody asking me to update my team on Twitter.
If you scroll back far enough, you're gonna see his team. Just back up for about 40 minutes. I think we did a team reveal there. I don't think he's changed anything. He has the screen up this whole time.
Yeah, I don't think I would change anything.
And speaking of changes, I hope everybody has either activated the wild card or free hit or taken hits because in about 10 minutes, the FPL site is going to blow up into a ball of flames like it always does. And I think this is probably our last question. Best two options if you can't get Bowen.
But what other options? I don't know. I mean, like it really depends on
Who
your
you have.
budget, right?
Let's just say 8.1 or lower since you can afford Bowen. I guess you kind of want to go back forward. I guess Madison is one of them.
Yep.
I guess
Yep.
the lack of options is really like staggering. Because Madison's one, Kulusevski's about the same price, but do you want to keep him long term? I don't think so.
Kulusevski.
Anthony Gordon? Yeah, Kulusevski because he plays Arsenal away, Brighton away,
Yeah.
Man United away, and Newcastle at home within the next six.
I I I probably wouldn't keep him long term.
Yeah, I
Saka is
think
a
there's
is Saka is another option to consider, but I think he's the same price
his
as
fixtures are also bad because there's
Bowen.
Brentford away, Spurs at home, Liverpool at home. So it's not really the easiest. And then you have a fixture postponements game to 12.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Madison and Paqueta. but he's not really somebody I would consider top two replacements either. Another person I looked at on Wildcard's probably Anthony Gordon. Again, his fixtures aren't that good that I will keep him. There's really no options, is there?
Not many.
There's
Not many
not
other than
many.
Madison.
That's why the Bailey questions came in. I know everything now.
Gordon or Bailey?
Oh, yeah. KDB, Madison, Martinelli, Andreas, and Guy to start ahead of Andreas.
KDB, Madison.
I guess this ties into this question. Gordon or Bailey? I guess these two questions are kind of interlinked.
Short term, I will go Bailey. Cheaper, easily. I mean, and I think probably Villa is still a more attacking team than Everton. I don't know. It's just they concede a lot of goals. But I
I
would prefer
think
Bailey over Gordon.
I think I would go towards Gordon.
Gordon?
Only because I know what I know what I'm getting from Gordon, but I don't really know what I'm gonna get with Bailey. Plus, it's easier to shift Gordon out than Bailey, I guess, provided you
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
any more money after them.
I think I kind of get what you mean. At least you know Gordon will start games every week,
Yeah,
and currently he's central to their attacking.
yeah.
Uh, Everton's attacking, although it's close to none, but there is he's still the main person in that team.
So I guess you could go. I guess that I guess you could recommend one of those two here as well, because the lack of options is actually staggering. So I actually don't know who I'm going with on Wildcard. Actually, that's actually one of my debates. That fourth midfield spot is still missing. But outside of that, there is one last question, unless more questions come in. Would you play Andreas over Madison this game week?
I am playing Andreas over Madison this game week.
So that's a yes.
I think because I think Forest they're really poor against cross. I mean set pieces at the moment. Um, and Andreas is the one taking those set pieces and corners. So my my money will be on Andreas this week purely
Fair
because
enough.
purely because how bad Forest is.
That's a good. That's a good argument. Forests are bad. And I guess that's about it. Well,
Yeah,
we actually ran about 15 minutes more than we should, but it's all right. There's a lot more questions than before this game week, and there's a lot
I
more
mean like
Bailey questions.
yeah Bailey. Surprisingly, we have a lot of Bailey questions. But to me, Bailey, I think he's a good pick for game week 8. Just a shame I can't fit him into my wildcard team.
For me, he should have just moved to Ajax when he had the chance. But that's just me.
Bailey and Coutinho
Anyway,
both start. There, you know, some,
yeah,
there is a rumor. Yeah,
yeah.
there's some team news coming out.
So I'm assuming no Buendia again. Cool.
Hmm.
I wouldn't. I don't know. As as talented and as great as Coutinho is, I think at the moment Buendia has shown more than Coutinho has. So I still don't know why he's not starting. But Steven Gerrard has more coaching badges than me, so I don't know.
Yep, I think we had,
That's about it.
we have
And
12 minutes more to the deadline. So
Urban is
good luck.
more so just Make sure you activated whatever you need to activate. Actually, I actually need to activate my wall card, by the way. I should just do that quickly before the stream ends. But
Yeah.
before that, any last words, Joe?
Good luck, everyone, and good luck uh, to those having daily.
And that's all from us this week. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to click subscribe and follow us on Twitter. Yeah, and ZHOUFPL and Samuel underscore DB underscore 021. And good luck for this game week. And hopefully you all have a good international break. And we will see you on the other side. Until then, take care and good luck.
Good luck.